Ever walk past a business and a beautifully crafted sign caught your eye? That's what we create at Eminent Signs and Graphics Inc. Whether you're starting fresh or revamping your brand, our expert team designs, fabricates, and installs signs that truly embody your business's spirit. From channel letters to monument signs, we handle it all. Ready to stand out? Visit us today at 1888 Freeman Avenue in Signal Hill, California, and see the magic for yourself.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
We're finally here!
I can't believe it. The ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosport. We're here in the great state of Texas, and it is one of the best circuits on the planet, host of the Formula One True American Grand Prix. Here at Circuit of the Americas, just a skosh under 3.5 miles, 20 turns of carnage here on turn 200. Circuit of the Americas back on turn 200 for the first time in quite some time. We're very happy to be here providing live coverage of the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosports. It's me, Tommy Cook, and that says Special Stage Pro Trucks. I just realized I didn't make an ASRL one, but the right side of the graphic does not lie. We do, in fact, have the man himself, Mr. James Watson, finally here on the call after you got to gallivant on track last week at Long Beach. We're opening things up quite a bit here tonight for rounds 3 and 4 of the season.
Yeah, I've been promoted to broadcaster. Certainly not because I caused a lot of calamity myself. Nope, no siree, nope. It was definitely planned that way from the beginning. It really was, but yeah, we're going from one track that's created in that lives and breathes calamity to one that's not outwardly chaotic, but definitely can and probably will be chaos in its own special ways. We're gonna be in for a very fascinating race, needless to say.
I definitely am right there with you. It is going to be a very interesting night here. As these drivers, a lot of new faces to the ASRL and the Sports Car Championship in particular, still trying to fill each other out. They'll have a little bit of space to do that here tonight, though, on this FIA Grade 1 circuit. Let's take a look at the point standings after 2 rounds of competition last week across our 2 different divisions. Remember, gold is, I guess, the quote-unquote pro division. Silver is the quote-unquote am division, but there are a lot of great drivers in the silver division. It's honestly stacked. As you can see, a lot of familiar names up towards the top of the point standings on the right side of this graphic, in particular Matthew Johnston, and a 3-way tie there with TJ Cranton, Rene Garcia, all familiar faces to the channel. Anthony Wayan there was in a lot of the battling last week at the front of the silver division. He is in that 3-way tie there for second. Audrey Saba rounds out your top 5. But it is Scott Kimbrough, who is now 2 for 3 on the channel in terms of starts and victories. JJ Wang, Scott Rister, Josh Heggie, and Damian Dania. You got to be on track there last week at Long Beach. Lots of feeling out, both in the figurative and the literal sense, I guess, with it being tight quarters on the street circuit. But what was the vibe out there in Long Beach in the first 2 rounds of the season?
The vibe was a whole lot of panic, confusion, anxiety, and indigestion. It's hard to really, look at it and boil it down to, okay, how much of it was the new faces getting to know each other, a big field of sports cars, or the tight confines of Long Beach. You're probably just going to look at it and go, yes. So probably won't. It will hopefully be a little more relaxed because you definitely have a heck of a lot more room to work with here at COTA than at Long Beach. Long Beach, everyone is afraid of, completely demolishing one of the walls or, God forbid, becoming Austin Powers on the little cart bit in the first movie. But here, you have a lot more track width to work with. You got a lot more runoff. So you have a little more areas to go if there is something bad that happens in front of you. The problem is that a lot of these passing zones are full-on dive bomb, get the air raid sirens going. Like, you turn 1, turn whatever the turn is at the end of the long back straight. I'm really not good with turn numbers. Those are going to be serious dive bomb. And right here, I believe this is turn 8, right before the long back straightaway. And then you're going to have to be unbelievably careful through the S's because you have huge sausage curves, like some of the biggest you will see in World Motorsport. It is ridiculous. In my laps of testing, getting an understanding of what the drivers are going to be dealing with tonight, I hit one. Boy, howdy, I was launched into Oklahoma. Like, those things are just ridiculous. I don't. Someone will hit one of those. It's not a if, it's a matter of when. And it will be bad, not only for that car in particular, but everyone else around. And I am scared to death on lap 1, especially lap 1 to the feature. People will be side by side. Someone is going to hit it in traffic, and a lot of cars are going to end up in pieces, and I cannot wait.
Well, I think we've got a couple minutes before qualifying here, so why don't we bring in one of the Team Watson Racing stable drivers. We did not get to talk to him after his championship victory in his first go with the ASRL Sports Car Championship last season in the LMP2 division. And now it's double significant because he's coming off his 10th career victory with the ASRL Sports Car Championship. And he's top of the board in practice right now. It's always great to get to talk to Christopher Hill. Welcome into Booth 200, partner. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Can't complain. Hoping that this is legit pace compared to the field, but we'll see. I mean, it's might be lucky in the timing of it, but definitely looking forward to the race and see how it goes,
Well, I mean, how much of a confidence boost do you really need, being the race winner from last week, a defending series champion here? I mean, you have certainly had your best foot forward in all of your time with ASRL, even with a stacked field as this is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you always need confidence, you know what I mean? Because, there's definitely some tough competition within this grid that's not, I mean, you got 4 and 5K guys kind of up there in the front, kind of a deal. So there's definitely some guys that are stiff competition, and, I haven't raced against them much, so it's kind of hard to tell, where you are until you get a chance to really run. Obviously, last week we got unlucky, but lucky at the same time with the the hardware failure we had in the first race, and we're able to start towards the front. So it was a pretty reasonably easy and straightforward race once we got out into the lead. But you don't know how it's going to be against some of these other guys who definitely have a lot of pace, and Brody's always strong, and I mean there's definitely some strong competitors this season. So I don't know. I'm hoping that we can still fight for the front and have a good race through, and I am looking forward to the invert because I think the race craft aspect of getting through the traffic will be something that hopefully gives me advantage. But you never know. We'll have to see how it goes. Well,
James, any last-minute words of encouragement for your driver before he gets to battle?
Hold on to your butt cheeks and avoid the sausage curbs. You got this.
Sounds good. Well, hopefully we'll talk to you later tonight.
That sounds like a plan, partner. Best of luck, and we'll hope to talk to you again here soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Have a good one, guys. See you in a bit.
So we've gotten James Watson and a little bit of Christopher Hill's thoughts on what we might see here at Circuit of the Americas as these drivers are gearing up for a qualifying lap. Why don't we give the folks at home a lap around Circuit of the Americas? If you watched last week's tape-delayed coverage from Long Beach, you saw Brody Gunter and Joshua Rutherford put together a nice piece on how to navigate the streets of Long Beach, California. Well, they've done it again here. This time, it's the Gunter's Guide for the Circuit of the Americas.
Today, I'm taking around a lap around Circuit of the Americas in our Purple Haze Ford GT40. We started here at the front straightaway, which leads into the highest incline in almost all of motorsports, about 100 feet climbing into the hard braking zone of Turn 1, where a lot of passes are going to be made. On exit, drivers will struggle for rear grip as they go back down the hill into Turn 2, which is a flat-out corner for these GT3 cars. but this leads you into the most difficult section, the S's, as drivers try and get as close to these curves as possible, but still carry as much speed as they can through the section to help gain time on their opponents. This leads into the second part of the S's, a more slower and technical section, but still difficult nonetheless, where drivers can try and cut these corners, but have to face off-track incidents if they do. If they can get it right, however, they can get a massive speed boost, leading into turn 10, a flat-out kink that most NASCAR drivers would use as a runoff, as it's very tight for them. This goes into turn 11, another heavy braking zone, with a very important exit as this leads you onto the 0.6 mile back straightaway, where drivers won't just be on a Sunday drive on these things, but trying to draft off the opponents to the next coming corner. During this moment, they might have time to actually think to themselves about strategy and other aspects, until they have to look for their brake markers on the left or right coming up. As they brake around the 200 void, into the very hard braking zone of turn 12, potentially even passing their opponents. This leads them into the arena type section. A very easy section to make a mistake or get an off track. They'll be balancing the car to the corner trying to decide if they want to push it to maximize time or take it easy to maximize the exit leaving the section. As they fly by the humongous tower that overlooks the speedway, they then go into the roundabout. A very fast section that you can almost take flat out, but they will balance their cars through to help them get a good entry for the second to last turn, turn 19, a very high speed off camber type turn with a very difficult exit. This then takes them to the last good passing zone on this track, turn 20. They can hold off their opponents or get some last few spots. They can possibly get a win. And that is just one lap around Circuit of the Americas.
So thanks again to Brody Gunter for that look at Circuit of the Americas. Again, 20 turns here tonight. And look how wide and inviting this circuit is as we ride along with Mike Hamlin here in the 28 McLaren. I think one thing that Gunter didn't quite have time to touch on there is 20 turns. They all come up on you pretty quick here. And something I think that is going to have a massive influence in the action that we're going to see here tonight. This is a great circuit. I love it to death. On iRacing, it is tricky, to say the least, to not pick up incident points from off tracks. These are not very generous runoff areas if you have to bail off of this racing surface. But with only 17 incident points allotted before you're penalized, and 22 incident points before you're disqualified altogether from either one of these races, it is going to have an effect on these drivers as they try and navigate around a pretty wide racetrack. You would think maybe with as wide as this track is, it's not going to be that much of an issue. But trust me, these drivers are going to be pushing these cars for every bit they can extract out of this racetrack. So off-track's going to be a problem, and for some drivers, it's going to add up pretty quickly.
Yeah. Basically, here it's turn the car off, or turn the car on, 1x. Pull out of the pits, 1x. Look at the track, 1x. Scratch your forehead, believe it or not, right to 1x.
And that really is what it seems like here. If you're so much as maybe just a squiggle off of the rumble strips on either side of this track, you're going to pick up an incident point. And trust me, we're not the only ones that are complaining about this. Nothing is done about it. So I think that's just the way that it is, unfortunately. At least these drivers know what they're up against. They could try and combat it as much as possible. But that doesn't make some of these drivers feel any more or less comfortable about the fact that they're a little bit more constrained than they would be at some of the other venues that we'll go to on the calendar here this season. Speaking of which, we'll be at Sonoma next week, a track that you're intimately familiar with. It's the home track for Mr. James Watson, and always lovingly referred to on the ASRL schedule as Sears Point. So we'll be at Sears Point or Infineon next Wednesday night. We'll hope that you'll join us for that. Halfway through qualifying right now, Christopher Hill has got the time to beat, as he is headed through these S sections on his second lap. We'll see if he can avoid. There's those big one of the big sausage curbs that we're referring to there.
Yeah, and it was cool. Chris in the chat earlier was talking about them, and he said those curbs are made to where you can actually the track can actually raise or lower them depending on what the specific sanctioning body wants.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So if the series wants them as high as they can go, they can do it. If they want them lowered, they can do it. So it's actually quite interesting. And if only we had the ability to request them to make them go beneath the ground. But unfortunately, that is not a possibility at this current moment in time.
You saw that both of the Scots on our points graphic earlier. Scott Rister had a great showing last week at Long Beach. Finished runner-up in the opening race of the season to this man, Scott Kimbrough. Winner of the CVMF Memorial Race at Road America last, I believe, October or November. But that was his only appearance on the channel until he put in for the ASRL Sports Car Championship here in 2025. Rister looking to improve, but will fail to do so on his second lap. But Christopher Hill will abandon his second lap, and he stays top of the charts. Rister second, Kimbrough third. Right now, I believe your top silver driver is TJ Crampton in 13th. He's already completed his qualifying run. Here's Dave Seats. Boy, Dave had a rough week last week. Twice was battling for position. One of those was deemed a racing incident. The other one was not. But either way, Seats did not get the finish he was looking for in round one and did not finish at all in round two. So he'll look to bounce back. He's the reigning GT3 champion. He is 14th quickest, and he is just on a practice lap right now. His qualifying run is already completed. Damien Dania, gold driver in the chat, had a decent showing at Long Beach last week. He's in the top 5 in the point standings. One of a few people in the chat ahead of this evening's festivities. Shout out to Bailey Marie Matichek and shout out to Corey Rutherford. Yes, I'm happy that we're live as well. Thank the Lord. That was, I'm surprised I have any hair left after last week. That was incredibly frustrating, and I appreciate everybody's cooperation on that one. Hopefully our top ticker will be cooperating for this evening's races as well, because it sure is seeming not to want to work, and that is where we have our classes denoted by colors. So hopefully that will start to come through. Avery Hart called out Avery's name quite a bit last week. P7 on the timing charts right now. And JJ Wang made the iRacing social media pages with his Long Beach Turn 1 move. I think they officially deemed it 20 cars that he was able to get past. We called it 14 to 20 on the broadcast. Either way, it was a hell of a move, and one move that I certainly would never even think to make. But it netted him a lot of spots there very, very quickly. Avery Hart, Travis Fleming, Christian Jackson is a new driver. Was not at Long Beach. He's out on track right now. He'll be in the silver division. Did not get to post a lap on lap 1. I'm assuming he found one of the very not generous off tracks. But welcome to Christian to the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosports. Just 20 seconds left. Hello to Joshua Rutherford in the chat. And I think it is about time to get rolling here. Any final thoughts before we grid up for round number 3 of the season here at Circuit of the Americas?
We've already hit on the real big talking points of the track and what to expect on lap 1. So it's just really, the next big thing got to worry about is the standing start and seeing how everyone is going to deal with that and what kinds of runs everyone is going to get up to the big hill in turn 1.
And speaking of the big hill, how about Christopher Hill on pole for the first time this season? He'll lead the field to green with Scott Rister to his outside, Scott Kimbrough, Damian Dania on row number 2. It is Brody Gunter, two-time series champion, starting in P5, Joshua Heggie in 6th, Avery Hart, JJ Wang on row 7, or on row 4, excuse me, Matt Schlosser, Nate Siefker, row 5, Johnny Alford, the bagman, Mike Hamlin, Jarrell Williams, Dave Seats, your top 7 rows, TJ Crampton, the first silver driver there in P15. Grid will continue to scroll as these drivers start to grid up. Dave Seats, reigning GT3 champion there, starting in 14th. There's Joshua Monacek, podium finisher from the round number 2 last week in the silver division. Rene Garcia, winner of the opening race. And James Watson, their 30th on the grid, is not racing here tonight, but there will be 36 other drivers who will be gridding up here for this one this evening. Race number 1 of the night, 20 minutes as usual, 17x disqualification, or 17x pass-through penalty, and a 22x disqualification. Normally we don't talk about that for the opening race, but certainly is a thing that we have to worry about this evening since it is Circuit of the Americas. Waiting on Rob Henry and Christian Jackson, and of course that dastardly James Watson to grid up. And then we should be ready to roll. Either way, it'll be about 15 seconds before these drivers are on the march way up the big hill and into this tight left-hander into turn number 1. Lights are coming on, and the green flag is out.
I don't know if that was the greatest of jumps there for Chris Hill. Oh, already a little
Big
bit argy-bargy. Chris taking the F1 line. We got a car going around.
Brody Gunter is around. I think there was more problems behind him as well. But for now, we'll send it back up front to Christopher Hill. Through the S's the field goes. Pretty orderly there through the S section. Brody Gunter slips all the way to second last. Oh, problems for Alec Vorotnik. He will go for a spin out of the S's. And now Christopher Hill. Oh, I think maybe he just glitched out of the session there. He started tumbling through the running order. He got a bit concerned there. Scott Rister in second. There's Damon Dania in third. Scott Kimbrough in fourth. Josh Heggie up to fifth. JJ Wang up 2 spots to P6. Nate Siefker up 3 spots to 7th. And for your silver drivers, I believe it is still TJ Crampton lead of the bunch. He is in 14th, up 1 spot from where he started. That 1 spot coming in the form of Brody Gunter. Trying to scroll up to make sure I could save the Gunter incident. I think I did that correctly, but we'll find it either way. Here's hoping for a cleaner start than Long Beach, says Joshua Rutherford. I'd say that was cleaner. Maybe not as clean as some folks were hoping for, particularly Gunter, who will have a lot of work to do here. This is JJ Wang and Josh Heggie getting ready to battle here for 5th. Scott Kimbrough right ahead of them in 4th, but the opening lap will go to Christopher Hill.
I already enough to know that was definitely a 1-1X already for the 00.
Not what you want. As he takes a look there to the left. Heggie taking the long way around Kimbrough, and that might cost him some ground against Wang. Again, maybe not.
Yeah, Heggie was looking to send it. Almost worked, almost didn't, but yeah, now right there in the middle, nothing gained or lost.
Hill's advantage right now, just south of a second.
Man, JJ is heating up the rear end of that Ferrari.
How well do the GT3 tires take temperature like that, or take abuse, I suppose? As problems for Matthew Johnston, last week's feature winner in the silver division, and he'll hit the barrier one more time for good measure. Quite a bit of damage there on the front end of that McLaren.
Yeah, that was significant damage. That's going to kill him. And this is not a track you want aero damage on. There's a lot of long straightaways here.
Gold driver Alex Hallen challenging silver Nick Batista here. Into the flat tight corner. Just as tight as turn 1, but without the elevation. And Hallen will get it done. He's up 5 spots from where he started. He is making moves.
This is a teammate on teammate battle. They are both on team ain't worth. Word I'm not allowed to use on air.
Well, I mean, if it's in the team name, as long as it doesn't violate TOS, I think we're okay. Not loving the stock camera package here at Circuit of the Americas. I should have splurged, I guess, for a camera pack headed into this broadcast, but we'll make do. It's not as bad as the Monza Oval, at least. It's Wayne getting up close and personal there with the 7 of Heggie. Still trying to get into the top 5. Christopher Hill still maintaining an 0.8 of a second advantage. And we'll start to scroll back to see what we missed here on our opening lap. Watch for Brody Gunter. He's in that gold car there, making a little contact. And that sent... I think that was with J.J. Wang, if I'm not mistaken.
It was.
With him right now. We'll see what happens a little bit further back. Quite a few incidents noted behind Brody Gunter.
Oh, yep.
That's nothing too crazy. A little contact. That was Joshua Monacek in front of them.
Yeah, just a little bit of bumper cars.
And still riding with Vorotnik here, as he's going to take a spin out of the S section.
Oh, he got some help.
Yes, he sure did.
I can't quite tell who that was, but
yeah, I'm still learning some liveries here. And this is Matthew Johnston, same relative area of the track as I think that's Mike Pepper there in the pink car in front of him. And oh, ouch, that's no bueno. They do get a fast repair each race, so you certainly don't want to have to use it if you don't have to. And we didn't miss anything truly. This is J.J. Wang still hounding Josh Heggie for 5th.
Yeah, going back to the Johnson incident, I don't think he expected the green and black car to be there, because you saw there was a bit of a schmozzle in front of him, and he was trying to figure out where they were going to go, and then all of a sudden the green and black car just appears out of nowhere, and Johnson's already focused forward on what's going on ahead of him, and so he tracks kind of out to take the proper entry into the corner, and all of a sudden there's a car there, and it just spins him into the wall.
Showing a problem here for Brian Deese.
Oh.
I mean, that's nothing crazy.
A little bit of D's acceleration.
So this is the second closest battle on track is now Nate Siefker trying to position himself to overtake Matt Schlosser. Congrats again to Schlosser on winning the regular season championship for the Venom Truck Series last night. As, boy, Siefker looked like he had his hands full there. Let's go kickpot cam. As he tries to track Schlosser down once more. Hello to Brad Lancaster hanging out in the chat with us. Yeah. I don't think there are any pedestrian crossings here at Circuit of the Americas. At least I sure hope not.
That we know of at any rate.
Yeah. Armstrong into the corner there. He's got Jarrell Williams and Dave Seats behind him. Still showing, I believe, TJ Crampton to be the top running silver driver, if I'm not mistaken. But Nick Batista is hounding him. I don't think we called out Batista's name at all last week. And really only called out TJ's name once or twice. I got caught up in the Mike Hamlin incident. But Crampton still ended up on the points leaderboard when it was all said and done. So a good recovery for driver 72. Multi-time race winner here on the channel.
Yeah, and this is a good run for TJ. And then the pre-race, he wasn't... Oh, it's
Nate Siefker.
Yeah. Another Mustang appeared. That Mustang was a lot farther ahead of the road.
That is not good.
No, it is not.
We'll see what happens here into turn number 1 and then take a look at what set this one up. Actually, we won't, because we are looking at the battle for third right now. This is Damian Dania with Scott Kimbrough hounding him.
Oh, what a send by Kimbrough. That was a nice move.
Yes, indeed. Kimbrough up to P3, right back to where he started. Took him almost half the length of the race to get back to where he gridded. Showing a problem for Anthony Wayland, and I think he may be back now. We'll take a look at what happened to Nate Siefker here. Oh.
Just went around on him.
Oh,
whoa!
Boy.
Oh, my
Wow.
goodness.
Damn. That was close.
No kidding.
Dania not done. Fighting back on Kimbrough here to try and take third. Current GT3 points leader with provisional bronze. A little bit further back, this is Dave Seats moving through on Jarrell Williams. As a twitch out of the rear end of the 24 will move him back a spot. Seats up 5 from where he started. Having a nice run. And a good recovery from last week.
Yeah, good move from Dave. And he even caught a decent amount of curve right there on the inside. Thankfully, the sausage curve on the inside of that apex isn't as bad as like the ones in the S's, so you can clobber it a little harder and not really worrying about it ruining the race. Still not fast, but Dave was still able to make it work and pull out the pass.
Siefker on our driver list. That's the other thing is we have a lot of names split between the two classes here. Not 100% sure which division Siefker is in. It kind of shows him as a silver driver, but I'm not sure if he is or not.
He is.
Okay. Well, I believe Nate Siefker is the lead silver driver right now. So I thought he was in the pro division. That is my mistake. So it is silver right now, or it is Siefker right now, leading silver even after the spin there. But he's got a 1-car buffer back to TJ Crampton, and that makes it about a 1.9 second advantage right now for Siefker. Christopher Hill at the front of the field. His lead is shrinking a little bit. Scott Rister down to 3/4 of a second. Rister is closing the gap here, little by little. Hello to Greg Johnson in the chat. Got to cut it up with Greg a little bit on Friday night in the Joker series over on JCTV. That was a good time.
That it was. We just won't talk about the third race and whatever the heck that was.
Oh, I made it through.
I didn't.
So Rister trying his best here to cut into the lead. Just a little bit more. What is the draft? There are plenty of long straightaways here, but what is the slipstream situation here for the GT3s?
I believe the slipstream is about up to probably around 1.2, 1.3. Wouldn't surprise me if it's a little more than that. a lot of it is really going to be based off of your exit off of the final corner for it. You know, that to me is the most important corner on this track because you've got the longest straightaway on the track to work with. If you screw that up, you're losing time. Oh, that's
boy.
hairy. Oh,
That is going to force Rister off the track.
Yeah, that is a huge, very bad break for Rister.
Yeah, I'm not even 100% sure who that was. Trying to look around for some driver. That might have been, it was Christian Jackson. So Christian trying to do the right thing, but came back onto the track there at a funky spot, and Rister had to take evasive action. That tacked on a second to the deficit up to Christopher Hill. So Hill looking pretty good right now with 6 minutes to go. Siefker right now still leading the silver division. And his gap to Alex Howland has, or rather to TJ Crampton has increased as Crampton is trying to overtake Howland here. Howland, a gold driver, right now holding down the 14th overall position. Crampton in 15th, but second in class. As I think problems for Rick Thompson. He's back up and going though. We're back to the front of the field. There we go. Crampton with a dive. And now he's got 2.5 seconds up to Nate Siefgerd.
Yeah, I don't want to commentator's curse, but this is a great run from Crampton. Early in the race, he was not really looking forward to the race. He's like, I'm just going to put around way in the back and just see whatever happens. He's putting around, but he's not way in the back, you know. Being P2 in the silver division, he's got to be absolutely thrilled with this performance so far. And good recovery drive from Siefker, even with, because he's got some significant left front damage. You can see from the incident with the Corvette that went by, the black and blue one. I think he's already, that he was already catching back up to. It just made a little bit of contact as he was spinning coming out of the penultimate corner earlier, and he's still running well.
So there's a lap car that all those drivers are looking to get through. You can see some flash into the headlights as Siefker approaches there. Not too sure that isn't Brian Dees.
I don't think it is. I think Dees is in a McLaren.
You are definitely correct. So either way, whoever that was. Again, we're still learning liveries here. It's not easy with 40 sports cars. But we'll get there, especially since this is our first live go. Either way, 2-second advantage right now for Christopher Hill. Showing problems for Rene Garcia. It showed me that he's crashed a couple of times now, but he's not really losing any time or position, so I'm not sure what the situation is there. Josh Heggie has gotten away from J.J. Wang and is slowly creeping up to Damian Dania here. But we'll only have a few laps to try and make something happen there.
Yeah, it looks like Dania is just starting to fall off of the back of Kimbrough right in front of him.
Back to Siefker as he's navigating the traffic. The gap from Crampton up to Siefker is continuing to close. It's down to 1.6 seconds, but again, running out of time.
Yeah, Nate is right now mired in the lap traffic with TJ. Well, I say lap traffic, it's only one car as Nate's looking to... Oh!
That was definitely contact there. Aye. Well, that does not help.
Yeah, poor Christian Jackson. He's just trying to log laps. His first race, his first ever ASRL race. He's just trying to get seat time. Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't really put that on Christian. It looks like TJ just got a little loose entering the corner. You could see the rear end was fully starting to slide out. He just went into full four-wheel drift and just slid right up.
And that has given Siefker a 2.5-second lead now over TJ Crampton. Again, Scott Rister has started to close back in, but we are probably coming to the white flag. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, and this kind of brings up the question that's always a bit of a struggle as a broadcaster. Is the car behind catching because they're faster, or is the car behind catching because the car ahead is just taking it easy? In this scenario, it's really hard to tell if Rister is really putting the heat on, or if Chris is just trying to chill out and bring the car home.
I'm not sure why I even question it. We're definitely coming to the final lap here. 1.5 seconds. Christopher Hill trying to go 2 in a row. Be his 11th victory with the ASRL Sports Car Championship. And there's the white flag. Barney is on it. And so is Barney too. Keeping our eye on Siefker and Crampton. Crampton again closing to 1.5 seconds. Similar gaps between your two division leaders.
I wonder if Siefker had another issue, because last time we saw it, he was right on the rear of Hamlin's car trying to get the position, and now he's fallen off a decent amount, and TJ has gained a decent amount.
Heggie went for the dive bomb there on Damian Dania for 4th. Couldn't make it stick. Solid race for Scott Kimbrough. He's pretty comfortably in 3rd, unless something massive changes here in the final lap. 3rd in class for the Silvers is Andre Saba, 16th overall. Only one car separated from TJ Crampton. Siefker still managing this gap over Crampton to 1.5 seconds. Rister chipping away a little bit, but he is too little too late here. With just 3 more turns to go. Checkered flag is waving around in turn number 20. He'll make it 2 in a row. Christopher Hill will take the opening round of the night here at the Circuit of the Americas for the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosport. Scott Rister in 2nd, Scott Kimbrough in 3rd. Quickly back to Siefker. Being chased down by TJ Crampton. Crampton maybe having to go on defense here, though, against Alex Hallen. That does not help the focus forward. As Nate Siefker will find his way back to victory lane. Oh no! And Crampton around into Howland, and they are stacked up. There's Saba. What is happening here? I think Howland is waiting to give the position back, and boy, that's not going to help things.
Goodness gracious! Oh wow!
What a mess!
Mother
Absolute
mercy.
mess. Here on the final lap.
I think Rene Garcia was able to slip by through all of that chaos and take P2 in
yes,
the silver.
He was. He absolutely was. Unbelievable. Well, we got to take a look at that before I don't know if we're going to be able to. It's going to switch over here pretty quickly.
Yeah, I was distracted because Williams and Hamlin were having a heck of a... They were side by side coming to the line, and I was watching that, and then all of a sudden we see the 72 facing the wrong way. Ooh.
Just a little contact, and Howland is waiting to get it back in motion. Nobody else is waiting, though. There goes Garcia threading the needle. And then Howland checks up again, destroys Joshua Matacek. and Andre Saba as well. That one's not going to sit very well, I don't think.
Yeah, that's a bit of stuff there at the right there as they cross the checker. Wonder what the admins may or may not rule on that.
See if we can get the results. I don't think we can, as we're still waiting for the official checkered flag to drop. Let's go ahead and take you to the mid-race break. When we come back, we'll have a word with your opening race winners, Christopher Hill and Nate Siefker, here for coverage of the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosport on Turn 200.
Ever walked past a business and a beautifully crafted sign caught your eye? That's what we create at Eminent Signs and Graphics Inc. Whether you're starting fresh or revamping your brand, our expert team designs, fabricates, and installs signs that truly embody your business's spirit. From channel letters to monument signs, we handle it all. Ready to stand out? Visit us today at 1888 Freeman Avenue in Signal Hill, California, and see the magic for yourself.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Turn 200's coverage of the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosport is presented by Purple Haze Autosport, Eminent Signs and Graphics, Team Watson Racing Setups, CJR Graphics, Mullet Music Productions, and the American Sim Racing League.
All right, we're back with our winner of the silver division here in the sprint, Nate Siefker. Nate, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well.
Yeah, it was a heck of a first race, kind of a bit of a crazy outing. So, first off, gotta ask, what happened there in the penultimate corner when you looked like the rear kind of went around on you a little bit?
Yeah, the rear is just learning the car. You know, this is the second time I've ever really driven the car ever. So still learning the car. I probably used the rears a little too much that stint, so just got to work on managing it a little bit more for the feature. Thought we could beat them up a little bit more. So we'll have to watch it a little more in the feature. We definitely learned a lot from that. Just got to take care of the stuff. It's difficult to pass. The draft is just not very strong with these things, so we still got to work on, executing passes. The infield section probably is going to be our best bet for them. If not in the T1, we seem pretty strong there too.
It looks like you got some damage in that instant when the cars were running by trying to avoid you. Did you notice it messing you up at all?
No, I think I was just too bad to even notice it. So I'm still learning. I feel like I'm miles off of everybody still with this car. So to get a small win today, I'll take that. It feels a little good, but yeah, we have a long ways to go yet for me to feel comfortable with this thing still. So we'll just tackle this like at the practice session, try to figure it out and go from there.
Well, that was still a heck of a run, all things considered. What's your plan of attack now going in for the feature? What are you going to do?
Attack lap 1, and then we're just going to chill. We're just going to try to figure out the pace, what the car can handle. We'll try to defend a little bit. And try to hold station. That's probably what the game plan is for the most part.
Alrighty, Nate. Well, good run in the sprint, and hope we're talking to you again in the feature.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
We'll get him sorted out in just a second. In the meantime, let's talk to your overall winner, your gold winner. How about our pre-race interview getting in for one more? It's time to talk to Christopher Hill once again. And good stuff from me here at the front of the field.
Yeah, that was a pleasant surprise. I was definitely thinking the Scots were going to get me in qualifying, and then it turned out we had pace. So I'm super happy with that. You just never know, you know. I mean, they definitely have a much higher IR rating than I do. So, but that doesn't. I don't know if that means anything. But anyways, so pretty happy to pull it off. That was a fun race, and really looking forward to the invert. I like these invert races. It's going to be fun coming from the back and trying to figure out how to get through traffic cleanly and fast and all of that. So it's going to be fun.
I was going to say, you were the benefit of the invert kind of last week after what you said was a hardware issue there down the front stretch at Long Beach. But having to work from the back, it wasn't necessarily a total mess headed into turn number one. But it certainly could be a total mess this time up the hill. What are you expecting all the way at the back of the field, and what is the strategy to try and pick your way through?
Well, I mean, you just got to find where people aren't and hope that that doesn't end up in a dead end at some point, and then we'll see where it ends up. But it's definitely going to be a bottleneck in that first hairpin, I'm sure. So it's there's going to be definitely a little bit of survival there because it's a long enough race that hey, we just got to get through it wherever we get through it, and I think pace alone we can make our way quite a ways through the field. So just got to be smart, not do anything too silly. If there's an opportunity, I'll take it. But yeah, just got to look for those openings where I can and protect all corners of the car for the first turn, So.
Oh, it's that easy, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Well, good stuff from you. Best of luck on your way up through the field. Congrats on the 11th win with the ASRL Sports Car Championship. And let's get some shout-outs before I let you go.
Big thanks to James and the gang at Teams Watson Racing Setups Shop. And, of course, got to mention Precision Racing Instruction. That's my company. We do coaching in the real world and on the sim, and anything from just your own street car to race cars and whatever. We can take you from no experience to lots of experience. And so, feel free to reach out if you're looking for a little help. And other than that, thanks to you guys for broadcasting, and hope I get to talk to you again soon.
Absolutely, partner. We'll hope to do it again here in just about 40 minutes' time.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Well, that is win number 3 for Nate Siefker, by the way, in the ASRL Sports Car Championship. Congrats to him. Congrats to Christopher Hill, 2 in a row, 11th overall. But now we have to gear up and do it again for the next 40 minutes. Yeah, as well as things went, if you're not Brody Gunter, into turn 1 last time, we'll see if any of these drivers are feeling a little froggier now that we've got 20 minutes under our belt.
Yeah, it's going to become a kind of a good thing in a way that Brody's race didn't go all that great, because now he's going to be at the front of the field. He's going to be able to start ahead of the insanity that will be following him. So he's got to make sure to use up that advantage as much as he can and just absolutely pull away, because it'll probably get really spicy here.
It very well could. Certainly the last lap, last corner got very spicy for a lot of silver drivers. Joshua Matichek in the chat saying that was very questionable. Indeed, it was. But hopefully all of the questions have been answered, and we can focus forward on some good old-fashioned sports car racing here. Quick scheduling update for everybody. Tomorrow night, it's the Max v CNC Home Designs Truck Series, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Nashville Super Speedway. If you're so inclined and have the resources, come hang out with me on Dirt Vision Friday night at the Jacksonville Speedway. Should be kicking off 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time with double sprint cars, 410s and 305s. It'll be a good time. But we'll be right back here on Turn 200 Monday night. It'll be the return of the Ghost Squadron Formula Super Series. Boy, that one crept up on us quick. We'll be at Phillip Island, which is a banger factory. All of a sudden on Turn 200, it does not miss. So we're excited for that one. Tuesday night, the Venom Truck Series Chase kicks off with the Turn 200 sponsored race from Chicagoland, the home track for Matt and I. We'll have that one at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And that will lead us back into Sears Point, a.k.a. Sonoma, FKA Infineon, 8:15-ish p.m. Eastern Time for our coverage of the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosport next Wednesday night. But we've got one more race here this evening to maybe hold you off for another week, as we are ready to rock and roll here from Circuit of the Americas one more time. Starting on the pole, it's James Watson. Who can believe it? It'll actually be Ryan Castleberry and Aaron Bach over there on row number 1. Christian Jackson had a rough go, to say the least. He'll start at 4th. Travis Fleming, Matthew Croak there on row number 3. Jake Erickson, Nick Batista, Rick Thompson, Dan Miglin, the rest of the top 10. Tyler Smith and Anthony Wayland, Brian Deese, and Matthew Johnston, who was a benefit of the invert last week when he took his feature silver victory. Look for him in P14. There's Alec Verodnik, who had a rough go on lap number 1. Austin Call, Rob Henry, Andre Saba. And then some more names that we called out a little bit more and more throughout the evening towards the tail end of the starting lineup, all the way back to Christopher Hill there in P37. 40-minute timed race, 45% fuel capacity for all cars. So we will have a pit stop here at some point. Aaron Bockover not making the call either, so that will put Ryan Castleberry in control of this field.
Hold on to your butt cheeks, everybody.
Does not start. That's rough. Into turn number 1 we go.
Oh, everyone's stopping. No one's turned around this time, thankfully. And
not yet.
Yeah. Oh, they're going to be side by side.
Castleberry, much like last week on the invert, with a good lead right now, headed through the S's. Lots of side-by-side here. Out of the S's. Oh, Joshua Monacek.
Oh, no. Oh, he holds it. Blosser having to take the grass to get through.
Now Rene Garcia's around. Alex Howland is around.
Oh, my goodness. You get a spin. You get a spin. Everybody gets a spin.
Is around. My, oh, my. There's Rick Thompson.
Oh, there's another one. Oh, and there, I think
that was Nate Seifker.
Got pun.
Oh, Matthew Johnston. And
oh dear.
Oh, dear. I don't even know who to call anymore. They're all spinning. There's Schlosser.
Yeah. I think Seifker was the one that got into Johnston. That
oh, boy. Well,
going to be expensive.
Luckily, this race is twice the length as the last one because we have a lot of replays to look at all of a sudden. There's Ryan Castleberry, unconcerned with all of it, a 1.5-second lead. As look at this. Blue Angel formation, J.J. Wang. This is for 10th overall. Andre Saba fighting with him. As around goes Brian Deese.
I think this is the same corner he spun in the sprint. Oh, and there's another car going off. Is that? I think that's Dave Seats.
I think that is Dave Seats. He is back to the pits.
Oh, man.
And there's the race leader, huge. Ryan Castleberry is around.
Oh, no. He couldn't even lead a lap. Oh.
Put it in reverse,
I'm the
Barry.
world's best backwards driver. Go, Mater.
Oh, well, Nick Batista will lead your opening lap as he's up the hill. Travis Fleming in second, Dan Miglin in third. These are all silver drivers. Rob Henry leading the golds in P4, and he's got a bit of a buffer back to J.J. Wang in sixth. That can go away rather quickly, but it's the 002 of Rob Henry right now leading the golds. And the overall lead right now belongs to silver, Nick Batista. Travis Fleming, Dan Miglin, the top 3 overall and in the silver division. There's one off the track. Not 100% sure who that was. Might have been Andre Saba, and it was. Still a lot to get sorted out here before I'm comfortable taking a replay. Oh, there's a spin. It's Christopher Hill!
Oh, no. Oh, no!
With Veronik piling in there. Austin Call. Avery Hart is there. Good God almighty. This field has been broken in half in just 2 laps.
Oh, no! Christian Jackson into the wall.
Oh, that is a big shot there for Christian Jackson. Ay, caramba.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know. I don't know what to do with my hands right now.
I don't even know. Yeah, this is what we anticipated as we see JJ Wang getting by Seifer.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is huge for JJ right now. An incredible start by him.
Again.
The fact that he's, already up this far.
What do you know? He's up 26 spots.
Yeah, and like the fact that all the guys he was battling with for the top 5 in the sprint are ways behind and having their own issues as far as Chris Hill goes, and have not seen either of the Scots yet or Joshua Hiji. So, yeah, this is huge for JJ right now.
Let's quickly try and sneak in a replay here. This is on the initial start of the race. We're riding with Jake Erickson.
Ooh.
Little contact from him. I mean, that's nothing really out of the ordinary, and we have a lot to sift through here.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
We're going to be at this for a while. Good avoidance by Anthony Whalen.
Let's try again here. This is Erickson out of the S. This is what I was looking for. Oh,
he got the sausage. He got the sausage. Curve.
Bam, there's Whalen's.
That's probably going to be that's massive for the silver championship.
And honestly, we could just bounce around from here as we're kind of dropping some frames here little by little. There's a big stack up. That's Matt Johnston getting tagged.
Oh, there's
Jackson
I think
Schlosser.
I think that was Scott Kimbrough who came in and made contact with Jackson.
Then further up the road, we can go up to Brian Deese.
And then if we can also go back to the Johnston Seifker. Oh, wow. Oh, what in the world? Oh,
We'll get back to the replay train in a second here, but this is JJ Wang now up to third. He just got through on Dan Miglin and Travis Fleming. Fleming is, I mean, look at this. This is a viscous group here. I mean, you cannot avoid everybody. Rob Henry up to second.
A group of GT cars is called a nope.
I'm sure there's a lot of nope right now. This is, I mean, this is Scott Rister back in ninth. This is second.
Oh, we got
right there is that's Nate Seifker. Seifker again. Man, had gotten through the field so nicely. Now has no opportunity to safely rejoin. Oh my lord, that's Rister. Rister and Fleming getting together.
Wow.
Oh, that's a
and he backs in. Oh, that's probably going to be a meatball. That even more. I'm about to sound like Rick Allen race feature implications. I probably shouldn't have finished that exact one. That probably wouldn't have gone well. It wouldn't have sounded well. Anyways, wow, that incident looked almost like carbon copy to the real life incident with Austin Dillon and Austin Cindric here. That was weird. Wow, so pretty much most of the top 5 from the feature has been involved in some incident. So far, only Higi is the only one that hasn't had anything yet. The risk of commentators cursing.
Yeah. Well, let's reset it for you. Nick Batista right now has a 5-second lead. He's the lead silver and the overall leader. Rob Henry's here in second. He has J.J. Wang behind him. That's the battle for the gold lead and P2 overall. Then next in line is Dan Miglin. He's the next silver up. Damon Dania right now would round out the gold podium. Rick Thompson would round out the silver podium. So that's your top 6, an even 3-3 split right now between the two divisions. As I think we've got Dave Seats in the chat. Not a happy camper, I can imagine.
Yeah, this has been a nightmare start of the season for our reigning champion.
Yeah. Waiting to see if JJ is going to be able to muscle under Rob Henry in one of these corners before we get back on the replay train as more and more replays start to develop.
Man, the Circuit of the America signs is not doing us any favors.
This camera pack, the iRacing standard one, not a fan.
No.
Oh, JJ, a little long.
Yeah, that was weird. Like, I want to say JJ locked up and Henry broke early, and it just like it didn't seem like anything was wrong until it almost went very wrong.
Nick Batista is setting a good pace up front. He is still pulling away from Henry and Wang here. I would imagine JJ wants to get through and try and track down Batista. As just behind these two, Damian Dana has made the pass on Dan Miglin, and Wang sends it. The crossover.
What a crossover.
Rob Henry takes it back. Well executed. Beautiful
move.
Not clear on Wang yet, but we'll have the preferred positioning here to the inside. Into the left-hander. Now JJ swings it hard. A little wiggly there, under braking. Henry with another crossover attempt, but I think JJ's made this one stick.
Yeah. Rob sent it on the outside, and that's all she wrote. Good racing, though, by both of them.
Absolutely. Gap is 5.3 seconds right now as Wang takes over the gold lead. Now looking for the overall lead, the silver leader, Nick Batista, ahead of them. By James's request, this is the Matt Johnston incident. Already,
wow.
Four wide, wheel to wheel there.
We came in the middle of a huge incident, and okay, that wasn't. So we thought it was Nate originally, but that was actually Anthony Whalen getting in there. He came from
downtown.
He came from El Paso. Good gracious.
This is the Christopher Hill incident with Avery Hart and Alec Vorotnik. That's Hill ahead in the red. We're on board with Hart here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, and just clip Avery.
So now looking for Nate Seeker's incident from earlier. And whenever you're not playing at full speed, there you go. Seeker had made a good run through the field up to this point, and
same thing as the sprint, just the rear came around. Now, what I didn't understand is I figured Nate would have just chucked it into reverse and then backed up and got it. Yeah, he would have lost a lot, and they just. Can we back that up a little bit?
Yes, we sure can. This is Rister and I believe Travis Fleming. And they both are. I mean, Fleming is moving a little bit more to the left, but Rister is trying to get out to the right just a bit as well.
Yeah, I mean, as random as that incident was, I kind of seemed like a racing deal to me. What do you think, Tommy?
I would probably lean that way a little bit more as well. So in the time that we've been in the replay, JJ Wang has already made up a second on Nick Batista. Let's cut it down to 4 seconds.
And it looks like Damien is start to follow JJ through. Looks like he's already up to 4.
Yeah, Damien is setting a good pace here. He's up 30 spots. So is JJ. As Dan Miglin is off the track. He's really not going to lose that many positions. He was in 6th. Now he drops down to 10th, but he's got Josh Hege right behind him, and he's got some hot tires now. So back to Henry and Dania. It's always a fun game when potentially you're looking at getting somebody into the booth for the first time on the channel, and you get to find out if you're saying their name correctly. Or you can pull a Hunter Engrav and just not tell us for 2 years.
Yeah, that's the worst thing. You feel so bad as a broadcaster if you butcher someone's name. You're like, I'm sorry, I'm doing my best.
Back to Henry. We're watching Johnny Alford there for just a second, up to 8th. But this is Henry trying to play defense on Damian Dania. "15 minutes in already." Go ahead.
Yeah, right now Rob is JJ's best friend, hoping he holds that 98 car up as long as he can. And here he goes, crossover once again. He's getting pretty good at that move.
Yeah, Damian really sent it deep, but tried to pin it to that left side curve. That corner's at such a weird angle. That I feel like that hardly ever works. JJ was a little bit more conservative with it, but either way, Henry's got that crossover down. He will keep the preferred positioning this time. And will hang on to 3rd for now. Oh, problems. Rick Thompson and Scott Kimbrough both off the track. But Kimbrough will maintain his position. Thompson loses 3 spots, however. And is still in the slide here as Hege and Saba get through. Saba's for division position there. So that will put him up, I believe, to 2nd in class, if I'm not mistaken. Nick Batista still the overall leader. Let's give him a little bit of TV time. JJ Wang is starting to cut into this gap big time, though. It's down to just 2 seconds.
Yeah, this is an absolutely phenomenal drive from Batista. He grabbed the lead early, and he's just not looked back. He's just been cruising.
Certainly has been cruising. A one-time winner with the ASRL Sports Car Championship a couple seasons ago in the wet. At the Mount Panorama. Pit stops. Matt Johnston and Jarrell Williams are down pit road. 15 minutes in. Is that maybe a bit early here with a 45% fuel capacity? Could this be damage related?
I think you can make it. I'm trying to remember how that... I think you can. It's going to be tight a little bit. But honestly, I'm not entirely sure, and I really don't want to go speculating and sounding like even more of an idiot than I already am.
Well, speculating about pit strategy is what I do each and every broadcast, and normally it's either Matt Williamson or Joshua Matichek that have to talk me off the ledge. So that's your job now. Now that we didn't have to worry about pit stops on Friday night jumping trucks, but you know. You've got to crew chief me a little bit here.
Yeah, I feel like, especially since it really didn't seem like Williams had much damage when he was pulling in, although I do think he kind of overshot his pit box a little bit right when we cut away. So I think that might be a move to try to get the pit early and get some clean air. You know, because it is congested at a lot of parts of this racetrack. Like, look at that. That's...
Yeah, 3rd
it's
on
a lot
track
to deal
is
with.
still a conga line. So we're on board with... Or we're not on board. We're up high. Watching Dania still trying to get through on Rob Haynes. Or, excuse me, Rob Henry. Wrong night.
We're on board with the chopper as Dania comes in.
Going for the undercut here.
Yeah, and trying to get some clean air.
One and a half seconds. JJ Wang has cut the lead down to Nick Batista. And now it's just 1. That was a great turn 1 for JJ. I mean, no skin off of Nick Batista's teeth if and when JJ does get through. Nick will just have to refocus on being in some dirty air and starting to get passed by potentially a couple more gold drivers. But, I mean, he is absolutely in the driver's seat here. I mean, literally, but also figuratively. Well in control of this silver division race.
Yeah, he's got a pretty healthy gap. Like, if I'm him, I'm just, if he gets to make a move, just go right on by.
Yep.
There's no need for me to fight.
No shame in JJ taking over the lead here. Doesn't mean Batista's not going to put up a little defense here. We'll see what JJ does down the long straight. JJ really sent it there.
He did, but he pulled it off. Good move from JJ.
Your class leaders battling for the overall, but it is now gold overtaking silver. JJ Wang is on point. Kimbrough and Hamlin battling hard here.
Yeah.
Oh, no! Kimbrough wide. Hamlin going to save it, but now bunks into Kimbrough, and that allows Saba and Heggie to get through.
I was just about to say this is going to be a really interesting battle because Mike Hamlin is not one to give ground, and
no,
yeah,
he didn't.
Nope.
Let's take a look here. Oh, a little contact there. Hamlin getting his elbows out. Kimbrough trying to keep that space to the inside. Oh, some
neck code.
Neck code? Yeah. I mean, neither of those two gentlemen will be very happy about that, regardless of the net code.
They will not.
Lots of pit stops here. Nick Batista is in. Rick Thompson, Josh Heggie, Rene Garcia is in now as well. This 4 isn't lots, but it is, you know, your silver leader now giving up the top spot, and he's going to drop into traffic here. Josh Heggie made a ton of time up on Batista.
He's sure. Oh, wow.
And Heggie is
not
trying to wait around. Batista sends it back on him. Really, really tight there on presumably cold tires. That was risky, to say the least. But there is Damian Dania. So he has now overtaken Nick Batista in the provisional running order when we're on the other side of the pit cycle. But how about Batista getting his elbows out here? That was an aggressive move by Heggie on the pit out, only to be answered right back.
Yeah, that was real close to almost being in.
Joshua Matacek. Oh, he's, I think, hooked into the barrier there. Sorry to the Matacek gang. We haven't shown much of Joshua tonight. He had a good week last week at Long Beach. Right on board with driver 60. Oh,
yep.
Caught that sausage curb.
Yep, that's what I was talking about.
Congrats to Joshua making the field for the Venom Truck Series chase. We'll look forward to him going for the Nathan Reynolds Cup on Tuesday nights for the next 5 weeks. But tonight is not his night at Circuit of the Americas, that is for sure. 18:18 left on the clock. Nick Batista still looking to cycle out as the silver leader. Andre Saba's putting in some good laps here, though, as Mike Hamlin is coming down pit road.
Yeah, you wonder if he takes the fast repair too to fix that nose damage.
Yeah, just a little bit. But, I mean, in theory, this should be your last stop. And he definitely did there. Side by side for second. This is the bagman, Johnny Alford.
Oh!
Wow, good stuff.
That was a ballsy move from Alford. Well done.
They call them bags, but that one had balls. 7-10 split up to second. So Alford now back to third. I think with the pace that Danny is on, though, he should well be in at least second, maybe even the lead. We'll have to see. Oh, Alex Elland. His rough night continues. He'll merge back into the S's here. Maybe putting bets on the sausage curbs. Oh, no, this is Nate Siefker riding behind. Oh, nope, curb. Bonk.
Yep. Oh, yep, that was definitely curb.
Monster jam for Alex Allen. Scott Kimbrough's got back on his horse here. He is challenging Sabra for fourth. That's the second time I've almost said Sabra. Andre's more than hummus to me. They're still tight in front of them for position as well. This is about to be a 4-horse race for P2. JJ Wang 9 seconds clear of this gaggle. Oh no! That's all for the round. Kimbrough comes to pit road. Henry and Saba are through.
Right after he made that great move.
Under braking. Oh. Yeah. Alfred might have been a little early there, but Saba was, or Rob Henry rather, was certainly a little bit deep. Either way, he'll only lose 2 spots. Would have lost a third, but Kimbrough came down pit road. So still waiting on, looks like the top 8 drivers to make their stops. Interestingly enough, Kimbrough has come out ahead of Damon Dania.
That is interesting.
But not by much, as Damien is looking for a way through.
Oh, Christian Jackson hit the curb!
And a little course cutting there for Kimbrough to try and get around it. For the second time, unless that was Rister in the first round.
Yes it was. And did Jackson tow, or
I'm not sure.
Did he get DQ'd? Because
he might have.
Because he disappeared right before he stopped spinning.
Quick update on Christopher Hill. Have not called him out since his incident earlier. Here he is. He's right behind Johnny Alford. I mean, he's kind of snuck up on us here, but he's in contention at least for a top 10. Let's see where he cycles out after his pit stop.
Tommy.
Uh-oh.
I'm not super familiar with the Acura, I will admit, but I think something is missing off of the rear end of that vehicle.
Huh. Maybe. Here comes JJ Wang and Johnny Alford down pit road. I think you may be onto something here.
Yep.
That's for, it's for aero purposes. Or it's, you're trying to make it a little lighter. That's all. Let's just hope he can make weight in post-race.
Oh, that looks expensive.
Yeah. Avery Hart also down pit road. Matt Schlosser down pit road. JJ Wang cycles out to a 5-second advantage over Scott Kimbrough. JJ is on a blistering pace right now. It's continuing to shrink here as JJ is trying to nurse these tires up to temperature, but if he wants to maintain this advantage here, he ain't got much time to be nursing, that's for sure.
Nope. And you imagine Kimbrough, with a lot of the stuff he's had to gone through tonight, I imagine he's not the happiest camper right now. No. So, especially if he feels like, because if position's full, I can't imagine it'll be a happy interview with coming up short with all the incidents that he's been having to go through in this feature race.
4 drivers still out. Rob Henry now the leader. Andre Saba leading the silvers. Then it'll be Christopher Hill and Mike Pepper. And then back to J.J. Wang in P5. A little love to Mike Pepper here. One of the OGs.
He's having a real good, quiet race, and
quiet is good. The last couple of
weeks.
Yeah,
in the series as chaotic as ASRL Sports Cars, having a quiet race can be the best thing, honestly. Because this is anything but quiet.
Andre Saba, Mike Pepper come in. That'll leave Rob Henry and Christopher Hill as the final 2. Save for maybe a couple stragglers in the midfield. 4.5 seconds right now. Tentatively the lead for J.J. Wang over Scott Kimbrough, but again, they're not the leaders as of now. They're about to move up to 3rd and 4th. Top silver right now, I think, is still Nick Batista, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it will be. We'll have to see where Andre Saba comes out in relativity to Nick Batista. They are both making their way up the hill right now, and they're going to be side by side for the lead. Saba's out ahead.
Wow. That was some first stint Saba put in to leapfrog Batista.
No kidding.
Especially with the advantage he had early on.
It's a double-edged sword for Nick Batista. All that battling with Josh Hagee kind of slowed him down a little bit, but also, you kind of have to battle. You don't really have a choice. But still, Saba is trying to nurse these tires up to temperature here. Batista is right here, within a car length. These tires are already up to snuff.
I wonder if Saba did take tires. Part of me, I'm not entirely sure if he did.
Maybe
you know,
not.
just because of the time difference on pit road. Like, it would make sense that Batista took tires and Saba didn't.
It was only a 10-second stop, so I think maybe it was just a gas and go, to your point.
Yeah. Are we able to go back and see the time of Batista's stop?
Oh boy, I can. It's going to require a little digging here, but I can give that a shot. Nick Batista pit stop 13:83 compared to a 10:08 for.
Yeah.
So that's 3 seconds right there. Christopher Hill, Rob Henry, your last 2 holdouts are down pit road. We'll see where they cycle out in relativity, but right now it is all JJ up back to the front of the field. Meanwhile, Johnny Alford just got through on Nick Batista, so a little separation now for Saba. And Mike Pepper here in 3rd. The 63 car is in the gold division, so this is not for position for Batista. As here's Christopher Hill on the pit out. Oh, that is really, really close there with Pepper and Hill. Rob Henry is out 6th. So it is golds for your top 6. JJ,
oh my goodness, I think Pepper slammed one of the sausage curbs.
Well, we gotta look. Unless I already missed it.
Yeah, we're at the...
Boo! I mean, good recovery, though.
Yeah,
he had the left rear tire on the ground, and that was it. Only lost 1 spot to Christopher Hill.
How is that thing still driving? How
knows?
is... Like, the right front suspension should have been launched to Dallas-Fort Worth.
Christopher Hill side by side around the long way with Nick Batista. Or that is the short way. I thought we were coming up to the right-hander there. Either way, that's another spot loss for Batista. And he is starting to drop back here as Saba is hanging with the golds. Closing in on Rob Henry there for P6. Rene Garcia just showed another crash for him. He's having a rough go here tonight in both races. Other than sneaking through there for P2 on the final corner, he had a couple dust ups there in the dash as well. JJ Wang, 4.7 second lead. Scott Kimbrough is clear of Josh Heggie. Right now, that is your provisional gold podium. For the silvers, it is Saba, Batista, and Rick Thompson right now, running in 7th, 10th, and 12th, respectively. This is Alford to the inside, trying to hang on to 7th. Or rather, taking 7th away from Saba. And Zach Lockett, I think, wants a Matt Schlosser update. Schlosser in P13. Had an eventful first couple of laps, to say the least.
Yeah, we saw him having to cut through the grass to avoid one of the many incidents on lap 1. And yeah, just has not been able to recover.
Christopher Hill up 28 spots. Not the biggest number on the board, but it sure is mighty impressive. Trying to take 8th away from Saba and put Andre a little bit closer to Nick Batista. Johnny Alford is absolutely on the march right now. He has caught Rob Henry, and he'll take the dive here to the inside. Well, thought he might anyway. Christopher Hill will. And Hill is through. Batista was looking for a move on Mike Pepper, doesn't find it. That puts Batista closer to Rick Thompson now, and that is for division position.
You know something strange I noticed?
Okay.
The Porsches do not have their lights on. Every other car, unless they're really hard to see.
I feel like they're so dim in like those 4 corners. I just put my cursor on the screen like it was going to pop up. But I feel like those 4 lights there, that just doesn't. If those are the headlights, that is ineffective at best.
Yeah, because like at this angle, they look like they're on, but like you go to one of the far camera shots, and look at that. You don't even see it compared to like Hill's Acura.
Right.
Yeah, look at that. It's like they're not even on. That is. Oy.
Weak. Step your game up, Porsche. You could do better than that. Oh, there's Johnny Alford off the road.
Johnny Alford.
Where did he come from?
A wild Johnny Alford appeared.
He was battling with Rob Henry. Now Hill is stuck in this sandwich.
Yeah, I think something must have happened with these two. Because Hill wasn't that close like half a lap ago, and all of a sudden he's about to get by both here. It's a huge break for a Hill.
Christopher Hill stuck between a Rob and a Johnny place right now. 6th, 7th, and 8th.
A Rob and a Bags place.
There you go. Oh, and congrats to Zach Lockett as well for making the chase for the Venom Truck Series. Ooh, Hill outbreaking Henry just a little bit. Rob has proved effective in being the Ryan Newman of COTA here tonight. He has been very difficult to pass.
Yeah.
I think he's got plot armor is what it is.
Yeah, this is some amazing defensive driving by Henry. He's putting the car exactly where he needs it to be to just kind of cut off any room for the car behind to really kind of send it up the inside.
Oh, Hill with a dive. Tight quarters there. Nearly bouncing off of one another.
Hill.
2 laps to go.
Hill sent it, and that was very nearly disaster for both.
Saba 3 seconds clear of Nick Batista as Hill and Henry now side by side, and Christopher should have this position. And him and Johnny Alford could get back to battling here. Might be a 2-spot swing if Henry can't find the positioning here, and he won't. So Henry from 6th to 8th, from turn 1 to turn 2. Hill up to 6th, Alford back to 7th. JJ Wang still maintaining this 4.6 second lead. It has not changed for the better part of 3 laps. Him and Kimbrough have been deadlocked on the timing charts. And that is the gap between them. Josh Egge still hanging on to 3rd here. We'll talk to your top 2 finishers in each class at the end of the race. Damian Dania in 4th. Mike Hamlin surviving the early problem there and running in 5th. Nicely done. For your silvers, Saba leading. There's the gap back to Nick Batista. Fairly comfortable coming to the white flag. Rick Thompson in 3rd. Nate Siefker and Matthew Johnston. Good recoveries for both of them. 4th and 5th in the division right now. But in a class of his own at the front of this field, JJ Wang rounding the final 3 corners on the penultimate lap before he'll see the white flag. JJ in search of his 10th victory with the ASRL Sports Car Championship here this evening. Things settling down, only a couple of drivers close for position here on the final lap. Wang for the final time, Saba for the final time. Kimbrough is starting to eat into this gap a little bit, but I would imagine that's probably partially just JJ taking it a little bit easier. But, he has lost a full second here since crossing the stripe.
Yeah, you wonder with Kimbrough being in 2nd and Hamlin in 5th, wonder where they'd be if they didn't get a little handsy with each other in the stadium section. Because like the pace they've had, Kimbrough especially since that incident, has been mega, but ultimately just a bit too little, too late.
And those two were definitely running each other hard, but let's not forget, at least to our eyes, there was some net code in there as well. So that was more the server reaching out and thumbing the scales a little bit. Not saying they wouldn't have made contact anyway, though. They were pretty close. But either way, that's not the concern of JJ Wang right now. It's TJ Simmons, cheering on your race leader, headed for the final 4 corners of the night here at Circuit of the Americas. Runner-up in the GT3 points last season when it was multi-class. And tonight, he enters the double digits on the all-times wins list here with the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosport. It's JJ Wang to take the feature here at the Circuit of the Americas. Scott Kimbrough will finish in 2nd. Josh Heggie will round out the gold podium. And here is Andre Saba, looking for his first checkered flag with the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosports across the line. And Saba is your silver division winner here tonight. Nick Batista will take home the silver, and Rick Thompson closing in there at the end, but will hang on for the bronze.
This was a real good race. You know, not as chaotic as I think we were expecting.
Boy, I think we had enough chaos in the first 2 laps to stave us off for the rest of the night.
I mean, hey,
those first 6 or 7 corners were unbelievable carnage.
I mean, hey, I expected someone in like second or third to hit the curb, spin in front of everyone, and we just end up with like a 21 car pileup. That's what I was expecting.
That is fair.
Yeah, so only having a couple small isolated incidents, that is significantly cleaner than what I was expecting.
Taking a lap around with JJ Wang. Here's your silver winner, Andre Saba. Been a while since we talked to Nick Batista. We've never talked to Andre Saba. And believe it or not, despite 2 victories on the channel here, we have never talked to Scott Kimbrough either. He was already off the track. We'll hope to get a word in with him. JJ back around to the front straightaway. I didn't know how good the burnouts would be. Christopher Hill proved me wrong last week. We'll see what JJ's got. And Saba's got a ways to go.
Well, we're waiting.
3.87 seconds is the margin of victory. Kimbrough was putting in work there the final lap. Oh, come on, JJ. Don't leave me hanging. Saba's not doing the burnout, and it is all up to our friend Drinjin Wang.
I play some sort of SpongeBob-related hid booing soundboard, but I'm afraid that would get us DMCA'd by Viacom.
Maybe the 2 hours later.
I was going to go with a classic, oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Well, the good news is, whether he's going to give us a burnout or not, we are going to get to talk to the man here relatively soon. Let's get to not your starting grid. Let's get to the full finishing rundown here after a pretty interesting 20-minute race here tonight from Circuit of the, or 40-minute race rather, to close out the night here at the Circuit of the Americas. JJ Wang, your winner in the gold division. Scott Kimbrough in second. We'll hope to talk to these 2 gentlemen here in just a second. Josh Hage will round out the gold podium in third. Damian Dania will finish in fourth. It is Mike Hamlin, P5. Christopher Hill, great run through the field to get back up to 6th, all the way from shotgun. Johnny Alford, a lot of entertaining moments there, especially with Rob Henry. They'll finish 7th and 8th. Your silver winner is Andre Saba, P9. And Mike Pepper will round out the top 10 here tonight. Nick Batista will take home the runner-up in silver. We'll talk to him and Saba here in just a second. Batista 11th overall. Rick Thompson in 12th will take home the bronze in the silver division. That's not confusing. It is Matt Schlosser, Nate Seifker, Jarrell Williams, the rest of your top 15. Avery Hart in 16th. Matt Johnston will finish in 17th. Brian Dees in 18th. Austin Call, Alex Howland, your top 20. Travis Fleming will finish in 21st. Tyler Smith, Anthony Wayland, Renan Garcia, and Ryan Castleberry, the top 25. 26 for Christian Jackson. Joshua Matuszek will finish in 27th. Dan Miglin, 28th. Alec Vorotnik will finish in 29th. Jake Erickson will round up the top 30. Scott Rister did not come back onto the track after his contact with Fleming, so he'll finish in 31st. Matthew Crokin, 32nd. Brody Gunter, what a poor night for Gunter, not of his own doing. He'll be awfully frustrated leaving Circuit of the Americas here tonight. He finishes in 33rd. Dave Seats, also equally frustrated, will finish in 34th. TJ Crampton did not start the feature here tonight, so he will not be credited with the starts. Neither did Aaron Backover or that absolute lazy bones, James Watson.
That bum.
So we will fade out the music, and we'll go in search of, should be Nick Batista, the first one up. He is streaming something to his Discord, so this will be a rude move.
It's fine. It looks like he's streaming. He's streaming Discord to Discord from what it looks like.
Well, we moved him to the infield care center. But we will pull up Nick Batista and James Watson have at him.
Hey, yes, sir, Nick. James and Tommy up in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Man, heck of a run out there. You were phenomenal there in the early parts of the feature race. So walk us through your start and just being able to just control the pace of the race for so long. What was that like?
So pretty much, I mean, I honestly had it in first gear, foot on the brake, medium gas. As soon as the light went green, let go of the gas let go of the brake, and I was full throttle. And was surprised that I didn't have no slip, no nothing, and I was gone. Was able to make turn one clean. I mean, had a slight bump with Jake Erickson, and after that, I was going. I was able to control the temps with the tires and everything. I was shocked at how pretty much the gap I had for a bit until JJ caught up to me.
So take us through the pit stop sequence there, because with the lead you had and how phenomenal of a race you were having, we were a bit surprised to see Andre get you there at the end of the pit sequence. So did you take tires, have any sort of mistake there that might have cost you time?
Yeah, I did. I slightly overshot the pit box. I had to back up a little bit. I did take front tires because they were pretty toasty. The backs weren't so bad, but the fronts were pretty much getting beat up, especially going through the first set of S's. And I thought it'd be best just to take the front tires only. And with the fuel that I took, it was pretty much once I stopped fueling, the car came off the jacks and I was ready to go.
Yeah, and speaking of exiting pit road, you had a real interesting pit exit with Joshua Higgy there. Tell us about that. That was wild to watch.
Yeah, I was hitting my flash button instead of hitting my pit limiter, and Josh was right there with me, and I was like, oh gosh. And that's when I realized I could hear the limiter bouncing. I was like, oh crap, my limiter. And that's when I hit the limiter, and pretty much we took off. Luckily, no penalty or off tracks, thank God.
Yeah, well, awesome job out there. That was a fantastic performance from you. You put on a show out there. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout-outs you want to give?
You guys for showcasing the event, ESGI, my team buddies, Alex, who I'm running with now, Alex Howland, Josh Haggy, my former teammates, Travis, Jarrell, Renee, the whole gang at FTM 420, ASRL, great season, great league going on. Trying to push myself to get back up there and get the team. Ain't worth. You already know the other part.
We'll get brave enough to say that on air at some point here this season. But
yeah,
good stuff from here tonight, partner. Great to get to talk to you again.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Great talking to you guys again.
Move him back. We'll see if Andre Saba or if Scott Kimbrough appear. We've got Kimbrough in the general chat right now. We'll see if we can sneak him in somewhere here, or if he'll pop in to a room. We could drag him up here. We'll give him or Andre just a second to appear somewhere. But regardless, great to get to talk to Nick Batista. First time we've had him in the booth in a little while. Good start to his season here this evening. I guess we'll just go a little bit out of order and see who shows up here, because it's always a party whenever we get to talk to JJ Wang. It's even better when we get to talk to JJ Wang at the end of the night when he is a race winner as well. How about them?
Thanks, Tommy. I appreciate that.
Well, an interesting race. Very chaotic in the first couple of laps, but it looked like you got through relatively unscathed for the second feature in a row.
Yeah, he seemed to. I don't know. I would like to say skill, but a lot of that is honestly luck. It's just kind of just the way the cookie crumbles, and I'll take it because it's just the way that this track is. I'm just fortunate that there's just a lot of space to, just duck and dive. And after race 1, I thought there's no way I would get the clean race bonus points. So I told myself, if anything happens, use all the track. And that helped a lot, that mindset change.
Certainly there was a lot of track to be used. I saw you a couple of times go off the track. Of course, these are not generous track limits anyway, but once you're able to get through traffic there and get some relative space to operate in, you seem to be able to balance pushing hard and also avoiding the incident points pretty well.
Yeah, I knew once I got past Nick, I knew it was a matter. I knew I had like a significant advantage to the faster cars because it's just as Oscar says, clean air is king. Just kind of focus on your lines. You don't need to worry about what other people are doing. Especially when towards later in the race, I'm surprised by how much the car handling kind of goes away as the fuel tank gets lowered. But then you can kind of focus on what your car is doing and not worry about anybody around you. That's just honestly a real big benefit to just being out front early.
Well, I know I usually handle the P1 interviews, but James, this is your guy. This is one of your team drivers, one of the reigning team champions as well. What you got?
Honestly, I wasn't expecting to ask a question, so I got nothing.
Okay. Well, and any kind words to pass along to JJ here? He put on a blistering pace tonight.
You know what? I do have one question. Just give us more information on, because you had another absolutely amazing start, and just take us through how you did that, because we didn't see another ridiculously annoying move that you put on this time around. How did you do it this time?
Well, I knew the field would be a little bit wary of that this time around, but I don't know. I think people fanned out a little bit to the edge a bit just to keep an eye out. But I don't know. It's just COTA turn 1 stuff. Often people defend and people try to get a run, and that inevitably opens up like the middle. And I kind of knew that going in. I thought the middle might open up a bit, and after that, it was just pay attention to the spinning cars, basically. Anytime a car goes around, you just kind of chase the tail, right? And usually when you do that, you kind of end up okay. So, I tried to be better this time. The last time was, believe it or not, a bit half unintentional, maybe half intentional towards the end. But yeah, no, I'm not like completely clean either. I did clip, I think, Alex Howland. I do apologize for that. I was just all track into grass. I was on the brakes, tried to hold it in. I think I just barely clipped them at the end. So, I guess I'll try to. Maybe next time it'll be cleaner and it'll be P1, hopefully.
You've had an electric start to this season, not just with the highlight reel, but also the results have been there as well. How do you feel? You were a GT3 driver last season, finished runner-up in the standings. The depth of field in the gold division has only gotten stronger, and it seems like you've gotten stronger as well.
Yeah, the truth be told, so much of it is just a start. I've been playing, believe it or not, another sim has actually helped me with my bite points.
No.
Yeah, just gonna. Yeah, but that's like just getting a good start is so crucial, and it's I know that GT3s are finicky on the standing starts. These cars are not supposed to be doing this, so it's real easy to stall, it's real easy to bog. So just practicing that has really just been most of it, and the rest of it, just I always do my best to be patient, kind of not panic. You know, there's definitely a handful of guys here that probably have the leg on me on pace, but I just can lean into my strengths, which usually is traffic, and then it worked out today, and hopefully it'll work out more. It's a long season.
Well, it's great to get to talk to you here tonight, and we'll hope to do it again soon. But in the meantime, let's get some shout-outs before we let you go.
Yeah, so big thanks to Team Watson Racing. I will mention that I'm actually not driving for them anymore, but I'm affiliate with them right now, kind of helping them out. We still kind of act as a team, but I'm with Aerokinetics now. Sorry, James. but I want to give a big thanks to James for just kind of still letting me in the garage. You know, he didn't like lock the doors on me or anything. So still working with Chris Hill, still working with the Bacon last round. Big thanks to him. We were just talking strategy. Daniel Miglin, who is a lone driver to our team. Big thanks for that as well. And then Matt Johnston, Nate, all these guys. They're great to share data with, and I think it shows with a kind of improvement from race to race. So big thanks to them, and a big shout out to my team and some friends watching. Aerokinetics White. Appreciate the support you guys have given me as well and helping me adapt and get better at GT3s.
Well,
and that'll do it for me.
You're into double-digit wins now with the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosport. Congrats on win number 10. Congrats on your first of the season. On an absolute tear. Keep it up. We'll hope to talk to you again next week at Sonoma.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
So, no Andre Saba and no Scott Kimbrough from the looks of it. Kimbrough in the post-race chat apologizing to Christian Jackson for some contact during the race and congratulating J.J. Wang and Christopher Hill on the wins here this evening. Pretty interesting 60 minutes of racing across our two events here this evening. What's your big takeaways from Circuit of the Americas tonight?
Yeah, it was cool to get an idea on how the race played out. A little more of a conventional-ish track, Long Beach is its own beast in and of itself. So COTA being a more, a permanent track, getting a better idea on everyone's pace, to get a good proper idea on what to look forward to for the rest of the season was huge, and we saw a good balance of dumpster fire and good proper racing, which you can't ask for much more. That's exactly what you want. You want the dumpster fire mixed with the good racing. It's not as good if it's one or the other.
Yeah, certainly there are going to be some frustrated drivers coming out of COTA tonight, but there are some drivers who have had fantastic starts to this season, not the least of which is J.J. Wang. It'll be interesting to see where he and Scott Kimbrough are in relation to one another as we head into Sonoma next week. We got more racing between now and then, however. It's the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series tomorrow night from the Nashville Super Speedway. Catch us at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be myself and Joshua Matacek, who did not have the best of nights here tonight. We're looking forward to cutting loose with him in the booth tomorrow night. Monday night, it is the return of the Ghost Squadron Formula Super Series from Phillip Island. Catch us there for the Super Formula. Very excited to have that one back. Tuesday night, the Venom Truck Series Chase for the Nathan Reynolds Cup kicks off at Chicagoland at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time for that one. And then that will lead us into next week's coverage of the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosport, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, as always, from Sears Point, a.k.a. Sonoma, FKA Infineon. Thank you to everybody that helps pay the bills around here. Of course, thanks to Purple Haze Autosport for coming on as the title sponsor. Thank you to Eminent Signs Graphics. Thank you to Team Watson Racing Setups. Thank you to CJR Graphics, Mullet Music Productions. And, of course, thank you to everybody with the American Sim Racing League. And, thanks to all the drivers. Thanks to the league admins. Thanks to Mr. James Watson as well. I'm very happy that we finally got a night of live racing in here on a Wednesday night. Looking forward to being at your home track next week. But until we meet again, that's all we got for here tonight. For Circuit of the Americas, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long And congratulations to your 4 winners here this evening, Andre Saba and Nate Siefker in the silver division, and Christopher Hill and J.J. Wang take the golds in the gold here tonight at the Circuit of the Americas. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. I'm about to end the stream. Thanks to the chat as well. I forgot. All right. Have a good